I know you probably hate me now, Aneira. Or perhaps, as the descendant of the noble white-winged clan, you are no such vulgar emotion as hatred. Kind and gentle as you are, perhaps you have forgiven me. Perhaps you have accepted what I did, and now you pity me for being trapped in the prison of solitude again. But still, good, kind Aneira, I insist on making one last selfish request. Please hate me. Please hate me for eternity. If I know that you hate me, I can remain connected to you. If I know that you had not forgiven me, the pain of that will enable me to feel you close to me. Are you laughing at my convoluted reasoning? Then let me say it more simply. I am lonely. I fear eternal solitude. That fear has been with me ever since I killed you with my own two hands. 900 years have passed since we first met. In the conventional way, I took a husband. Even more conventional, I gave birth to a son. Soon after naming the baby said, my husband died in an epidemic. In his bedside, of course, I chose the face that would not let me die. Had you not been with me, Aneira, I would never be able to find the strength to reset by myself. You said to me, there is no greater joy than for a child to be born and grow up healthy. Fitting words from you, sole survivor of the white-winged land. You also said to me, you will be alright, said. You are no longer alone, now you have said. You will never be alone as long as he is with you. I nodded to you in tearful recognition of the truth of your words, and you went on with some embarrassment. They said to me, I will train him to be a full-fledged man of the sea. If anyone should dare to threaten him, I will protect him with my life. How kind you were, Aneira. How truly kind. Even now I can recall the carefree smile on your face when you were playing with Sed. You were such a fair little boy, but you steeled your heart to tame him sternly, and on those days when you had cried himself to sleep, I often caught you in profile watching him sleep, your face suffer with inevitable gentleness. How glad I am, Aneira, that fate brought us together. In my long, endless long life, I can declare without hesitation that you were the finest companion. So why, Aneira, did events play out the way they did? To this day, I have no idea why. Do you? Did you know why those things were happening to you? This is what I would like to know. All the more so because I can no longer learn the answer. I desperately want to know it. It happened 30 years ago. I said goodbye to you and said I made my way to the Tower of Mirrors. For the memory had come back to me, the mission on which I had come to this world, the task I had been set here to accomplish, and the reason I possess memory of 1,000 years spent in this world. I was a pirate who prized freedom above all, and what I enjoyed most of all was living wildly on the open sea. Exactly why I was so drawn to freedom I myself did not know. But that was when I learned, deep in the heart of one who desired freedom less the pain of freedom denied. It was you, Aneira, who first taught me the expression prison of solitude, and it was true. I was trapped in a prison of solitude, not simply, however, because I was confined in a cave on a desert island. For me, being in this world was itself a prison of solitude. When I came to realize this, I headed for the Tower of Mirrors in order to return to the world I had come from, nourished by my 1,000 years of memories of having living in this world. I would return to the world where I belonged. In the Tower of Mirrors, it was waiting, Gongora, the man with whom I was supposed to return to my original world. I had no way of knowing, however, that it was a trap that Gongora had set for me. I can never forget how he stood there, spear-legged and defiant, before the Tower of Mirror, laughing that arrogant laugh of his, My stomach turns when I recall his title face and my flesh creep when I think of his cunning, fearsome trap. Gongor had no intention of returning to our former world. Instead, he hatched a fiendish plot to make himself ruler of this world, and anyone who resisted him. He crushed without mercy. I was one of those who stood in his way. As soon as I learned of evil design, I flew back to my pirate ship. Of course, such a monster could not be satisfied me were waiting for me there. Knowing him, I felt a terrible foreboding. Said, Aneira, I scrambled as I leaped into the ship. In the next second, I saw with a gasp that my foreboding has been correct. Both said that you were there, Aneira, on the deck, sadly bleeding, and you. When you became aware of me and saw it turn in my direction, you had a strange gleam in your eye, and there was something in your mouth. It was Sed's leg, you had ripped it from his body. All sound faded. Sed lay there in a sea of blood, his leg torn off, trying to cry out to me. I couldn't hear a thing, I couldn't read his sorrow-filled eyes. However his play, don't blame Aneira, it's not his fault. I'm sure I must have said something. What happened, or perhaps how did it happen? Or calm down, Aneira, or be strong, said. But then again, I may have simply screamed to rattle to produce coherent words. In any case, I could not hear my own voice. You were glaring at me, Aneira, your eyes shone horribly. You were no longer the Aneira I knew. You had been possessed by some wholly other being. Why, Aneira, why? You spit out said leg and let it drop onto the deck. And then you came after me. Said voice broke the silence when he shouted, Stop! Was he screaming at you, Aneira, or at me to stop? The whole scene became enveloped in a white light. When I regained consciousness, I was lying on the deck. As I slowly opened my eyes and raised myself, I realized that my sword was gone. I had only an empty scabbard at my waist. I looked around with a shock, and there you were, Aneira, lying on your back. My sword had been plunged into your chest. It stood there like a grave marker. Aneira, I screamed, ran over to you. I started shaking you, but your eyes were shut tight, and there was no sign they would ever open again. I shouted at you to wake, to come back to me. Then I shouted to Sed. Hurry, Sed, come here, Aneira. But there was no reply from Sed. Having lost so much blood, he was unconscious. If only you had been very unconscious, Aneira. If only you had been badly wounded but alive. If only you could have started breathing again. But my sword has done its job to refine perfection. That piece of your chest is exactly what it needed to in order to take your life. I stared at your corpse, accompanying the Aneira, the survivor of the proud White Wing clan. Tell me, please tell me what happened. Was I the one who killed you? I sensed someone approaching from behind. I turned to find Gongora staring at me, expressionless. You killed him, he said softly, his voice devoid of emotion. I shook my head, winching. No. My voice was hoarse, trembling. Gongora went on as if slowly pressing his words into my ear. It was you killed him. No, I will never do such a thing. A tremor of my voice spread to my entire body to think that I might have killed you, Aneira, with my own hands, that I could never be. This was what I wanted to believe, but the reality before me was shattering such hopes. Gongora threw back his head in contemptuous laughter, all but proclaiming his victory over me. You see now, Seth, what you have done. Kill the one you most loved. You're on your way back to the prison of solitude. Again he laughed aloud, and he was still laughing as he left the deck. This man wound, knowing I could never die, set it up for me that was crueler than the death itself. I collapsed when I stood, looking up at the sky. I felt the tears pouring down my face, tears of blood. Again I was plunged into eternal solitude, never to be released from it by death. Gongola succeeded in locking my heart in darkness again, sealing my memories with it. A weapon controllable, I screamed in terror, but ripped my thought to shreds. In my heart, my mind and soul were something lodged inside my chest. I would have torn it out. Help me, Aneira, help me.